Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive critical eye.
That's right. And to avoid lazy negativity, we've decided to make this episode a drinking game.
Yes, we have.
So anytime we say anything negative at all, anything at all, about each other, about this film, about how for Dave there is no escape from the jungle of his choices, you're going to hear this sound. That sound means we're taking a drink and you're going to drink along with us.
So, pour yourselves a glass as we talk about a tale of obsession stronger than Jeff and his cat. And
Cheers.
yes, I toned that joke down.
Oh my God.
I feel like your parents' ears have been punished enough, so.
Oh my God. I forgot I got 2 whiskeys and I just drank the one I don't like. Shit.
Oh,
man.
That's never.
Ugh, how bad
All
can
right,
it
friends.
be?
Dude, you know what's funny? Every time I hit go on the show now, like we hit the button that's hit the button that starts the opening, I get an itchy nose. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, I have a terrible throat right now. Thanks to that. Okay. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We are, of course, talking about 2016,
My nose.
The Lost City of Z, or the Lost City of Zed for our
Zed.
British listeners. Dave, what do you do in Australia? What do you call that? Is it Z or Zed?
I think it's. I can't remember. I think it was Zed.
Oh yeah.
Oh
So
no,
you still,
it depends. If we're doing the rhyme, it's Z because it fits. But I've done both.
What's the rhyme?
So A, B, C, D, E, F, the whole alphabet to a tune. Everybody does
I
it.
See. Sometimes, yeah, I guess so. Every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, the Random Year Generator spun 2016. So if you're new to the show, we like to do a setup. We like to tell you what was going on in 2016, some movies that were successful this year, movies that we like and shout out and hopefully endure the test of time. And then a little bit of world events so we can set the context for what was going on when this movie came out. And I bet you, even though this movie is set in the early 1900s and it is based off of the nonfiction book by a prolific journalist and writer of other novels or other books as well. We'll get into him a little bit later. That is, of course, David Grann. David Grann. I think it autocorrected to Grant. He still writes for the New Yorker. The Lost City of Z. I think it shares a lot of timelines with 2016. I think 100 years passed when this movie was set. There's a lot of stuff that was going on in 2016 that's probably similar to what was going on in 1905 to 1916 to 1920, whatever. So, but we also got to get drinking. We really are a drinking podcast. So we're not going to talk about that movie right away. If you want to listen and get your Lost City of Z or Zed conversation on, go ahead, check the show notes, scoot ahead and get to that conversation. We got some mini reviews first. We got to shout our sponsors out. We got to get drinking. So that's what we're going to do. But actually, the very first thing we have to do is tell you whether or not we like that movie. So we have our stars. We have our 5-star program here that I forgot to do last time we were on the show. But here we go.
Well, we did it just halfway through.
So we're gonna do it. We're gonna vote now. I kind of don't know what my vote is, and I have to vote in like 10 seconds. I still don't know what I'm to pick. But
it's not like we sprung this on you. We do it every week.
And then later we have to defend our positions, and at the very end we have to decide if we keep our position or if one of our co-hosts swayed us up or down. So, Dave, how do you want to do the vote? How do you want to do it?
Count to 3.
Okay. Count 1, 2, Zed. All right.
1, 2, Zed. Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, and Zed. There it is. Okay. David the gold star, and John and I with the goods. The greats. So Dave gave it a 5, and John and I gave it a 4. Wow. All right, James Gray, writer-director, is going to be very, very happy about this. But again, you got to wait until later in the show when we converse about this so we can defend our positions. Why didn't John go gold star, and why did Dave go so high? John, you want to shout our sponsors out so we can get the show moving?
Sure. Carlos Barroso makes beer. His handle's in the show notes. cbarroso.beer. Carlos, what's up? Send me some brews. Dasein makes music. Dasein. He gives it to us for this episode, the last episode of every single episode. The link is in the show notes. It's on all the usual music platforms. Dasein, Dasein. That's it.
Did you guys know this is the first time we've been to 2016 since our summer blockbuster face-off? We have not been here to this year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But if anybody really likes dark, intense, psychologically thrilling movies with some adventure, check out our previous episodes on The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Kingdom of Heaven, Annihilation, Yojimbo, Deliverance, And what the hell? We did the director's cut of Apocalypse Now about 4 years ago. That's another jungle river tale. So, we got, if you like some similar movies and you want some inspiration, go ahead and watch one of those and listen to our old episodes.
I wouldn't compare Apocalypse Now to this. Like, this movie's good.
Okay. You don't riding up the river in the jungle while people are firing arrows at you or shooting guns at you. You don't think that there's no connection? You didn't see the parallels at all? White men going crazy and getting obsessed with this place and wanting to never leave there, even if they have families back home. No parallels at all. I'm very excited. Excited to talk about Robert Pattinson with that beard. It's probably not too long after the Twilight series ended too. Charlie Hunnam, of course, with the weight loss, and Sienna Miller is just amazing. Big Sienna Miller fan. Okay. Mini reviews?
Yeah.
All right, sure. I get to sit back. Take them away.
Dave and I both saw a movie. He saw it before it hit theaters. I saw it this past weekend in theaters. And I went into it because, Dave, you texted our group and said it was pretty good. We saw Good Fortune. What did you think about it when you saw it?
Well, I feel like it's for me, it was a movie that gets better as it goes along. Like at first it was like, where are they going with this? And it was a bit loosey-goosey, but it solidified into something that was kind of really nice and sweet and was a good ride. I enjoyed it. It's a great story.
Man, I really, really liked it. I felt like it reminded me a lot of like Aziz's series, which I haven't seen like all the way through. I've just seen some episodes here and there. But like really exposed. There's not too much music, like wall to wall, like needle drops, like telling you how to feel the way this kind of movie could maybe do. I gotta be honest with you. It
definitely has a point.
Yeah, I was pretty blown away by how well they show financial disparity in America right now.
Yeah.
Whether or not they do land the plane and make sure that there is a point that you're supposed to take away from this, but it kind of feels like they're subverting like Capra kind of movies. Like, well, it felt like It's a Wonderful Life kind of switched up.
Yeah, essentially it's Trading Places, but modernized. But there's so much more going on than Trading Places had going on.
And because I feel like, I know Trading Places has a similar element, but literally the angel aspect of this, making you feel like there is something divine, that, you can't rid yourself of that divine perspective. I don't know. I was really shocked at how comfortable they allowed you to see how terrible it was.
Well, that's the fun thing about this movie. Like, even the angel isn't happy with his job.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, people should go see this movie. It was surprisingly effective at showing what America looks like right now. And they also do a really good job of not saying that like people who are poor in America right now are the same thing as people who are in war-torn areas of the world. They know it's not that. They're not saying it's that. They're not saying these people have the worst life of all time. They're just saying, even under these circumstances, it's pretty hard to have hope. And I don't know. It was really, really effective. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah. It was a good watch, and I felt good about their point, and I'm glad someone's making it, and I'm glad I saw it. It was Keanu had a real journey through it that I really enjoyed.
Man, so enjoyable. And I'll just add this to the list because I made this comment last time we were talking about mini reviews. This is what I would call another political film without being partisan.
Right.
It's clearly talking about some of the politics of being alive right now and how financial disparity is such a big part of that. So I would still call this a political film, even though nobody talks about anything partisan or policy or anything.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, go see this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I also saw Good Fortune. Yeah. Dave, you also saw something that you don't want to talk about yet because it's not in theaters, so we'll hold off on that. But I also saw
I can talk about it. That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
You go first.
Well, yeah, I will. I basically agree with everything that Jeff said a couple weeks ago about it. This is Ronan Day Lewis's first film. If I'm being honest, I can't say that I enjoyed all of it or loved it, but I really appreciated it. And it's undeniable that he has really wonderful resources because of his father and his mother, and his first film was very well resourced. We can definitely say that. So I feel like he expressed what he wanted to express. I kind of felt like it was all spinach, and I'm excited to see what he does next because I have a feeling he's going to I'm not saying he's going to do something entirely different, but I have a feeling the response to this film is going to push his talent in a compelling direction. And I'm excited to see what happens next. But it's an art house film. And I don't think that we shouldn't shy away from saying that. That is a shamelessly art house, slow, challenging film from beginning to end. But there's a climax at the end that showed me what he's capable of cinematically. And so it's not just the really challenging, slow-paced art film that, kind of gets that cliche form going, even though he did some really beautiful things within that part of the movie, which is most of the movie. It builds to something that is really compelling. And I think that if he starts,
cool.
if that's a tool in his arsenal, then I'm excited to see what he does next.
Did you say
anyway, that might not be for everybody.
Did you say Anemone, or did you just say, I can't remember if you said Anemone, if you just said Ronan Day Lewis's first film. But anyway, great.
I said Anemone, I think, but it was right when Dave was saying he saw something else too.
Oh, okay.
By the way, while we're here, while we're talking about words that I fucked up, I think last week, I think last week you guys let me say, and you guys didn't call me on this.
Hey, I say this all the time where you don't call me out and stuff. And I wish you did.
Okay. I was giving it up for the people who are running Warner Brothers film division for productions. And I said Mike DeLuca and Pam Bondi, and nobody said anything.
Oh, wait. Yeah, Pam Bondi's in our government right now, so I don't think she's running Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
and I don't have any respect for her. And I do have an enormous respect for the woman who is actually the other Pam, the Pam that we do like, Pam Abdi. So I just wanted to call that out and apologize. ABDY, Pam Abdi, Pamela Abdi. I'm so sorry. You are not fucking Pam Bondi. Fuck Pam Bondi. Okay.
Okay.
Dave.
Clarified. Anything else, Dave? Is there another one you want to say?
I don't know if it's hit theaters yet or if it might have already done a festival circuit, I think. But Ethan Hawke's Blue Moon.
Oh.
I got to see, and it's basically because
it's Richard Linklater's film, right?
Yeah, Rodgers and Hammerstein used to be Rodgers and Hart, and he plays Hart on the night that Oklahoma came out in a bar.
And Lorenz Hart was a very depressed person in real life.
Yeah, and he nails this role. There's so much. It's almost like a monologue. There's so much dialogue in this film. He just
like
never
a play.
stops. Yeah, he never stops talking. Almost, and it's just a constant stream of consciousness of justification of him trying to lift himself up because he realizes he's kind of been left a little bit behind, and him trying to garner a new show.
Wrote the most important musicals ever right after they left him.
Yeah.
It's Andrew Scott plays Richard Rodgers, right?
But Ethan Hawke is phenomenal in this. I've never seen him do this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up in the awards circuit for this one.
Wow.
Good.
How's Margaret Qualley? It looks like she's trying to step up too. She was
utilized briefly. It was like a love interest who's way too young for him.
Oh, of course.
So he kind of.
I thought he was gay. Maybe I was just wrong.
He was both.
Too. It's both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Bobby Cannavale, was he?
He's the bartender, right?
Yeah.
Bobby Cannavale.
Oh, that's fun. Damn.
Charming.
But Ethan Hawke steals the show in this. I've never seen him act like this.
Wow, I gotta see this movie.
Like he had half his head shaved and made a comb over.
Good for him. Nice. I also saw Tron Ares. You guys didn't go see it?
No,
I was doing a show all week, so I couldn't.
Yeah, I had the busiest weekend of last week.
I still want to see it.
I mostly saw it because I wanted to hear Nine Inch Nails in IMAX, which was cool. That soundtrack was great. I don't think the movie did as well as they wanted to, even though I think it still surpassed expectations.
Some of the texts we've got from Matt and Mark, no, it didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think Mark liked it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mark liked it, and Matt hated it, I think.
Yeah, but the clip of like him turning up to a half-empty theater.
Sure, yeah. Mine was not that empty, and I think it did. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it did well. I think
I don't think it says
the budget is absurdly big. I think it's losing.
Yeah.
Here's the con, and then here's the pro. The con is they're dealing with the edge of technology, and we're living in a space where that edge isn't that far away anymore. And I don't think they said anything that we don't already know.
Okay.
So that can be underwhelming. The thing that impressed me was I wasn't expecting that much action. And specifically, I think they ended up putting in quite a bit of practical effects with their action, which I know sounds kind of weird considering there's light behind all this stuff.
A lot of on-the-street filming done.
It really
Yeah.
felt that way too. So I was impressed by that. As somebody who was going in with very low expectations, I was not expecting to love this movie. I wasn't expecting it to be a bad movie. I just knew they didn't make it for somebody like me. I don't care about the franchise, and I didn't know anything going into it. I just wanted to hear the music.
See, I'm definitely going to see this because it answers the question everyone had when when the first movie happened, which what would happen if they went the other way?
Oh.
Instead of him getting sucked in, they got out.
Yeah, I mean, that is the question. And I think you'll agree with me. We are already living in a world where we've probably already answered that question in a sense.
Yeah, they get agents and start acting.
Hyperbolic, but anyway, that's it. The action and the chase scenes were really fun. Okay,
well, we're recording on Sunday night of its second weekend, but its first weekend did 33.5 domestic, which was below the 40 to 45 million projections, 60.5 global debut opening weekend. The budget's 180 million. So
that's not bad.
It's gonna
it's crawling there, but
it is gonna need a.
They're gonna lose a lot of money on this.
They're gonna lose money. Yeah. And they marketed it a lot, so Anyway, it doesn't mean it's not good, but it's too bad. And then Roofman came in second, and that's also under expectations. That's Channing Tatum's. So yeah, it looks. I don't know. What a year! What a weird year.
I want to go see Roofman for sure.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of movies that came out like right around now that I feel like are not doing as well as they want them to. Anyway, let's move on.
Yep. Should we do the?
I'll say one more thing. I saw fucking. I live in this town, so I'm very lucky to be able to say this. I saw one battle another after another for a second time because I got to see it in VistaVision at Tarantino's Vista Theater.
Oh, damn.
Oh my God, it looked so different and good. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think I made this comment in my mini review a few weeks ago. I think IMAX is too big of a in-your-face screen for that movie. He goes so back and forth between these extreme close-ups and really extreme wides. And the extreme close-ups at the City Walk IMAX, I was like, going like this to try to see an entire face. This was a normal size screen, and it was still in VistaVision, so I had the oversized information, but the coloring looked better. It was such a good experience on a regular size screen, which is, I guess, what my big takeaway. And the rewatch was fantastic. It felt more dramatic. It felt more like there was even more there, like Paul's movies always do. The rewatch really surprised me at how much
so much
I
to
enjoyed.
watch this week.
Anyway, good stuff. All right,
see that one. Now we can see that one for sure. Okay. I only have like a half a gripe, so go ahead. Just roll it really quick. It's just a tiny gripe. Okay, so I work with people on Zoom and FaceTime a lot, and I get to see inside people's living rooms and homes and stuff like that. What is with movies making everyone's bedrooms look like they put time, effort, and thought into the way that they put things on their walls? I say like 9 out of the 10, kids and adults alike, that if I'm doing a Zoom lesson and I'm in a room with them, they just have like a couple posters and maybe like a little square, and otherwise it's just a fucking wall. But whenever I turn on a movie, it is like every single thing that could possibly design the character all over the wall. Their bedding, on the ceiling, the lamps. No, I had like a poster on my wall that I like tackied up one day, and it was up there for 4 years. And that is still the case. What is with movie people? Guys, stop it. Go in some actual rooms and be like, oh, we don't have to work so hard. I don't think it's going to be boring on your camera. It'll be real. Okay, that's it.
It is boring on the camera.
Good stuff.
That's why they do that.
But I watch these things and I'm like, wait a second. This kid who's too lazy to get up and go to school decorated his room like he's fucking Martha Stewart. Get out of here.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys ready to talk about 2016?
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Good year. We like to start with the box office at the movies. We are a movie podcast and we're drinking, and my drink is hitting, even though I didn't like it. It's going to be good. I remember being like, I don't like this, so I'm going to have to drink it on the podcast where I'm forced to drink it and I can't avoid it drinking it.
Yeah, like
if I drink it upstairs, I'm going to, yep. Okay. All right. What was the highest grossing movie that came out in the year 2016, according to Box Office Mojo?
Captain America.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with that too. Yeah.
Dave got you first. Captain America Civil War comes in at $1.151 billion. How
I've got like
1.51.
I've got 3 of these right lifetime.
1.151.
Yeah.
Still, wow.
Yeah, it was Civil War, so first appearance of Spider-Man. It cleaned up.
Oh, wow. Thank you for saying that, because we're going to mention that young man later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, not to be confused with Tom Hollander, who once got a $1 million fucking deposit because his old agent Tom Holland's agent used to be Tom Hollander's agent, and they accidentally put Tom Holland's royalties into Tom Hollander's bank account. It's a great story. Okay.
Well, Tom Holland is very saucy.
He's a fantastic. I saw him play one time. He's awesome. He's really short. He was definitely the best part of, what is that movie that we didn't like?
So is Tom Holland.
Yeah,
Civil War.
No, Tom Hollander. What was that movie? The Kingsman. What was the Kingsman? Where he plays the three brothers, the triplets, or whatever. The three brothers, and
I barely remember that.
What?
Yeah.
we saw this movie. We talked about it. The three brothers. One was a Russian, one was a German, and one was.
That's the third Kingsman movie, right?
The Kingsman.
The prequel.
The one where Ray finds his son dies and he's so sad about it.
Yeah. I just don't remember Tom Hollander in that. I just don't remember it.
He plays
like a good review.
He plays like the political guys, like the three guys. Anyway, the fucking brothers, whatever. Number 2, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That came out in 2016, if you remember. $1.055 billion. And
that deserves its place.
It's great. Spawned a great series, too. Number 3, Finding Dory, also made over $1 billion. And guys, I'm going to say it. Finding Dory is good. I like Finding Dory. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Shut up. I like Finding Dory. I rewatched Finding Nemo recently. And number 4, Zootopia made $1.002 million. So that
I like.
That is $4 billion. Am I saying million or billion? You guys have to correct me. $4 billion movies. And Captain America Civil War only made $1.151 billion. So they're all pretty close. So a lot of movies making about the same amount of money here at the $1 billion.
Then it all came crashing down.
That's sort of edge. Well, 2020. Just under $1 billion. In 5th place is The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book comes in at number 5 with $953 million. Dave, would you call that a live action movie? What do you call that?
I would call that a rehearsal for The Lion King.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. I saw this one in theaters, actually. I kind of liked it. I don't care what you say. Fuck you. Number 6, The Secret Life of Pets, $885 million. That's a whole lot of money for that movie. Number 7, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, made $872 million. That seems pretty good to me. Number 8, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's the first one. Reminder to everybody, that movie is Eddie Redmayne loses animals, has to find them. That's it.
Yep.
Didn't you guys see that in Austin?
Is that where we saw it? I think you're right.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get a ticket at the famous Alamo, so we just saw it like at a regular theater.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Deadpool.
I've been to the Alamo in Austin, even.
Oh yeah. But we walked by it. But anyway, Dave, number 9, Deadpool, $781 million, 2016.
Yep.
Came out of Valentine's Day, right? And number 10.
Yeah. Did I tell you he's since admitted that he leaked that footage? Like just this year?
He admitted this year that he leaked it?
Yeah. Because it's been a mystery of who leaked the footage, because they weren't going to greenlight the film.
Well,
shocking.
Pretty good move by him.
Yeah.
And number 10.
Everybody knew it was the worst kept secret ever.
Number 10, Suicide Squad. $745 million for Suicide Squad. And I'll just give a couple other movies.
X-Men Apocalypse made less than Suicide Squad.
X-Men Apocalypse made $542 million and came in 14th place. Doctor Strange came in 11th. Sing, the first Sing movie, came in at number 12. Kung Fu Panda 3's in there. Warcraft. And down in 18th place is La La Land comes in there. And Jason Bourne, Ice Age Collision Course. Those are your $400 million movies. 20 movies made $400 million.
See, the Suicide Squad is ridiculously popular. Like the characters themselves, we weren't expecting them to Sony up the movie and cut everything out of it.
I see. There were actually 85 movies that made $100 million. That's pretty good. 85 movies made $100 million, including How to Be Single, Dirty Grandpa, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
That's a creepy film. John Goodman's great in that.
Surprisingly, none of those movies were Independence Day resurgence. Or Star Trek Beyond and The Great Wall. The Great Wall as well.
Yeah, that's not for disparaging it. That's just for mentioning it on this show.
You and I definitely saw the Gray Wall. Remember, we were like, "What the?" Fuck?
That was those weird like alien.
Damn it.
Probably a little too high for that.
Those alien dogs were they were not right. Anyway,
so weird.
What other movies you want to shout out from this year?
Oh man, this was like every year we talk about. I feel like there was some standouts here.
A lot of
I want to
popcorn
call
flicks,
out
though.
the Neon Demon, which was.
I still haven't seen that. I keep meaning to, but I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, lesser seen film, but worth talking about. Definitely call out. Star Trek Beyond came out of this. Came out this year, and it was not
ended
on my
that
list.
franchise.
Wow. Coen Brothers, Hail
Caesar.
Hail Caesar. Yeah, Hail Caesar. I want to mention that. Definitely want to mention The Handmaiden, not to be confused with Handmaid's Tale. This was a Park Chan-wook film, which was fucking really, really good. My favorite movie of this year, I think, is Arrival.
Yeah,
really, really blew me away.
I walked
Dave,
straight
did you
out
guys
of
see that together?
I walked straight out of the theater and bought that.
I think we saw.
Yeah, that was unreal.
That was cool. We might
How
have
good
all
that
three of us
was.
seen it together.
I know Al saw it with us because we talked with him about his dad, because his dad was a linguistics professor, I think. So I remember talking with him about that. Manchester by the Sea. Definitely want to mention that. That movie is powerful. Hell or High Water has ended up like really doing well over time. Like it was kind of had a cult following then. People liked it then, but I feel like that has really survived and kind of outgrown itself in a really great way. Nice Guys. Did you guys see that movie?
I did. Yeah, I went and saw that.
Oh yeah, I saw it after it came out.
That was good fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And this was the first year we just talked about The Accountant 2 this past year, and The Accountant, the first movie, came out this year, and it's good too. You should definitely watch that one if you enjoyed the second one and don't even know what it's talking about. And Mr. Martin Scorsese made another religious movie this year that nobody saw, but is really, really beautiful. If you have the patience and you want to watch one of his Silence. It's
he's working on that for a decade, if not more.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awards was this is the Moonlight La La Land year with the messed up with the messed up ballot.
Focus on your job, people.
The acting awards, Emma Stone somehow won. Not that she's not great, but but Isabelle Huppert and Natalie Portman and Viola Davis, like it was a really interesting year. But Emma Stone won for La La Land. Casey Affleck won for Manchester by the Sea. Viola Davis would go on to win for Fences in a little category frauded supporting category. And Mahershala Ali would win his first of two, this one for Moonlight for the supporting category. Anyway, actually Hacksaw Ridge came out this year too, and I saw that in theaters, and that has a really cool sequence. That sound, it won best sound.
War films often do.
No, Arrival won sound editing, Hacksaw Ridge won sound mixing. The sound of Tim running up those bodies and the bullets like whipping by his head is fucking cool.
Now you can't get that Oscar. They merged it.
Yeah,
that's true. They keep going back and forth. They've split them. They've merged it. They split it. Yeah, that movie's powerful.
Anyway, Warcraft came out this year, and then Zootopia. I don't know what it's maybe Zootopia.
I watched Warcraft recently. I'm like, that was okay.
Yeah. Not as good as Sausage Party, which became the highest grossing R-rated animated comedy of all time.
And had a fun little story associated with it where they switched theaters and everybody had already bought tickets. And they came in to sit down to watch some animated feature and got that instead.
Can
you imagine having a camera on the door, parents just avert your eye, they clutch in their kids' face as they run out.
Oh my god, I heard that happen for Bad Santa a lot, where parents like ran out of the theater with their kids. I'm on my fucking lunch break. All right, a couple of facts. All right, here we go. We'll give you a little world events before we get into our Lost City of Zed conversation here. 2016, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. That's number one. Let's go ahead and move ahead. Let's move on from that one. Whoops.
Buzz myself for that.
Yeah, you buzz yourself for buzzing something. But Obama was still technically president this year, and he was the first U.S. president to visit Cuba in 88 years, and he probably smoked a fat Cuban cigar while he was there. Good for you, Barry. American astronaut Scott Kelly returned to Earth after 340 days in space, and I'm sure his legs were totally fine.
That was
Let's see.
348 planned days in space, not like the other poor bastards who got stuck up there by Elon Musk.
Elon Musk did help save them, although he tried to blame NASA for all of it. From January 22nd to the 24th, a record-breaking blizzard dumped up to 3 feet of snow in parts of the mid-Atlantic. 3 feet of snow. I think I remember that was a tough year. Apple was the world's most admired company in 2016. I guess we just ignored the sweatshops. UK voted to leave the European Union this year. That was Brexit. How about that? And the Paris Climate Change Agreement went into effect.
Dude, I remember seeing people in investment walking around the day after with a look on their face like, shit, they fucking did it. With Brexit.
And then
like,
as soon as people did it, they were like, wish I could change my vote.
yeah, when they found out what they actually voted for.
Like the guy who owns the flower shop on the border of like Northern Ireland and Ireland, and he realized half of his customers are now on the other, and like literally in a different continent for all intents and purposes. Anyway, bottled water surpasses carbonated soft drinks in sales for the first time. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's see what else is going on. Oh, there was a water deep down in a mine in Canada that was about 1.5 billion years old. That was found in Toronto. 63% of Americans own their home. The average household had $16,000 in credit card debt. That doesn't seem good. The Apple released iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. If you're going in timeline of Apple chronology, there were 2.9 billion Google searches every day. And for the first time in history, streaming services generated more revenue for the music industry than sales of albums. Not because they paid them more, but because nobody bought albums. Moving on. So the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl. The Chicago Cubs won the World Series over the Cleveland. Were they still the Indians at the time? The Pittsburgh Penguins clinched the Stanley Cup. Cost of a 30-second Super Bowl ad was $5 million. Inflation was 0.12%. Unemployment was down to 4.7. Remember when Trump said the unemployment was all him? It was already down to 4.7 here in 2016. The prime rate was 3.75. And a pound of potatoes cost 68 cents. White bread was $1.96 for a 16-ounce loaf. And chocolate cookies were $3.35 for a 16-ounce package. The most popular names. Let's see if you think these were actually the most popular names in 2016, because honestly, I have no idea. Jackson, Aiden, Lucas, Liam, and Noah. And for girls, Sophia, Isabella, Mia, Charlotte, and Ava. Now, that makes sense. Jackson, Aiden, Lucas, Liam, and Noah. Maybe. Your names are a thing of the past, gentlemen.
Yep. They broke the mold.
The biggest pop music artists. Number 5, Drake. Number 4, Coldplay. Number 3, Justin Bieber. Number 2, Beyonce. And number 1, Adele.
Two of those are still doing good.
Top 40 songs for the year. I'm just going to give you the top 5. Number 5, Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. Number 4, Work featuring Drake by Rihanna. One Dance by Drake featuring Wizkid and Kyla. Sorry by Justin Bieber and Love Yourself by Justin Bieber were the top 5 songs for the year. 2016. Bieber had a good year, huh?
I couldn't hum any of those songs.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
And that's why streaming outsold albums.
Yep. Here are the 5 most popular TV shows. Number 5, Modern Family. Number 4, Empire on Fox. Number 3, This Is Us, NBC. Number 2, The Big Bang Theory, Dave. And number 1,
Game of Thrones.
Actually, this says The Walking Dead, so maybe they were going by viewership because I would have thought Game of Thrones. Yeah, this is season 6. That was a good year for Game of Thrones. Came out in 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, season 6 was a great season. Fuck this list. Last but not least, cool food and beverage trends. Are you ready? Food and beverage trends.
There were sometimes though when Game of Thrones didn't come out for over a year.
Dave, I just announced the category.
I have thoughts, man. I gotta get it out.
I need a fucking drum roll. I need a drum roll. Can I get a goddamn drum roll? Okay. Sweet potato toast, number 10. Number 9, Starbucks' pink drink.
I've never even heard of sweet potato toast.
Sounds nice, though.
It's like avocado toast.
Fuck.
Pick the guy who lives in fucking California.
Is that a breakfast? Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
Number 8, iced lattes with and without alcohol. Iced lattes with alcohol?
Irish iced latte, yeah.
I guess so. Number 7, ice cream sandwiches. How is this number 7? Cool food and beverage trend of
Because
2016.
I made that stat
This is-
myself.
Did ChatGPT give this to you?
No.
This
Number
is a
6.
weird-
Actually, this one makes sense. Number 6, giant soup dumplings. Number 6. Number 5, fried chicken.
Yes.
What a trend.
Wow, we
Number
are
5, fried
getting
chicken.
like, dude, as we come up in the years, it's just getting worse.
Yeah, it's get weirder, right? Number
Yeah.
4, Filipino cuisine.
I don't believe any of this.
Number
fish with
3,
heads
This
on.
entire list is wrong.
fermented foods. Number 3, big trend here in 2016. Number 2,
Kimchi? What else is there?
number 2, cold brews.
Cold brew came in.
I
That's
guess
where
it
it was.
just means coffee. Like we've had cold brews forever, but cold brews.
Yeah.
Number 1, just cauliflower. Just
Cauliflower.
cauliflower.
That
I guess that
actually
was
does
big.
make sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense. People had it in place of steak.
The buffalo.
Dude, did I even tell you
There are some buffalo cauliflower that I like. It should not be the same price as
Yeah.
the chicken because you didn't have to murder an animal to get me this cauliflower.
Yeah.
But
Did I even tell you the story of my dad with the cold brew at Starbucks?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh my God, it was hilarious. He came over to visit and he was doing that thing where you ask, oh, what do you want? Oh, what are you going to have? And then he'd get the same thing you were going to get because he was kind of out of his element. He didn't really get the American thing. I get it. But I thought, all right, I'll teach him a lesson. So we went to Starbucks and I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, what are you going to get? I'm like, oh, and he likes stuff really, really sweet. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a nitro cold brew. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll have one of those. He got the nitro cold brew and he picked it up and he took a sip. And I kid you not, the first words out of his mouth were like, oh, it tastes like day old rat piss. And I'm pretty sure I
Rat
saw
Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure I saw the guy behind the counter nod a little. At the time, he put so much, fucking sugar in it, but that thing went in the bin. Next time I asked him what he wanted, he knew exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
It was a bitter brew.
You have to have an opinion.
It is a bitter brew, and I still send him.
It's good, though.
I find a bottle of cold brew anywhere, I still send it to him.
Yeah, but then he's going to cut off your annual Tim Tam shipments, so you got to be careful with that. All right, people. Well,
All
here
right, are we good?
We are good. So hit the button. You ready? Because we are now segueing into our conversation about the Lost City of Z or Z, which is available on Amazon Prime if you have your subscription up to date. It is free with your subscription up to date. This stars Charlie Hunnam, Robert Pattinson, Cinnamon Miller, Tom Holland.
Just
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you for a second, I'm surprised Amazon Studios doesn't run ad free on Prime. Like, what a great way to build interest. Like, before we found this, I hadn't really even heard about this film, and after 3 minutes of ads at the beginning, I would have switched to another service. Normally, it'd be like, fuck this, and I'm gone.
Did
but
I have
why
ads? I
don't
don't think I had ads.
I did. I had 4 ad breaks in the middle of it and a 3-minute ad break at the beginning. I'm
I
like,
didn't
why
have
don't they run the
ads.
Amazon Studios stuff without ads?
Dave, you got to go to the next level of Amazon Prime. I don't think I had any ads.
Fuck that. I just canceled my IMDb Pro because it was a rip.
Wait, you can't. Wait, what?
Fuck those guys.
You canceled IMDb Pro?
Yeah, it's $150 a year and I've got no benefit from it whatsoever yet. All it does is makes my page look pretty.
But you can look at what agent Charlie Hunnam has.
I don't care. I'm getting all my
You're
work
totally
through
right.
word of mouth.
Amazon,
Do you want to see if he has a
I'm
production
ad free
company?
too.
Fuck those guys.
I'm ad free. I write
See
it
what they've
off.
produced. What all the actors have produced.
Yeah,
Jeff's
I love
favorite.
when it says Charlie Hunnam, producer. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they don't run their Amazon stuff ad free for everyone.
Yeah,
That is a no fucking brainer. You're exactly right. That does seem like a natural incentive baked in for synergy purposes
Yeah.
within their company. It doesn't make any sense why that's the case. You're right. Are they still Amazon Studios, or do they just make everything through MGM now since they own that?
No, I think
It's-
Amazon Studios is separate.
I mean, it says Amazon Studios at the beginning of this movie, so
No, I know.
Unless
Like
it
this
is
in
separate.
Manchester were Amazon Studios, but since they've bought MGM, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw this logo, Amazon Studios.
Because they still run MGM as a separate streaming service as well.
Okay.
Huh.
So you got
I'm gonna
MGM
look
Plus.
that up on IMDb Pro. I'll be right back.
I won't. Oh no, I've still got half a year left.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
good then. You're good. You can do it.
even have time to
All
change
right, let's
your
do
mind.
it. Come on.
Okay, so reminder: Dave gave this a gold star. John gave this great, and I almost gave it it was okay, and then I gave it a great. So I'm going to read the IMDb description as I always do. Reminder, this is James Gray, writer-director. He did this movie before Ad Astra in 2019, which is a previous episode of us. And after,
I didn't know he did that. I didn't put two and two together.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
after a couple other movies, including The Red Road and The Immigrant.
We Own the Night, Two Lovers, The Yards, Little Odessa. This guy's no joke. One of my alumni. He spoke at my commencement address. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, okay. That's great. Really good. Okay. Sounds like Jeremy Strong. Hence who was in the movie. Anyway, Lost City of Zay. A true life drama centering on British explorer Major Percival Fawcett, who disappeared whilst searching for a mysterious city in the Amazon in the 1920s. Of course, Amazon Studio has the movie set in the Amazon, huh?
I'm sure that was coincidental.
You couldn't pay me money for me to retire on to go in the fucking Amazon. I'm sorry. I know jungles seem cool. I like being alive. I like living. I just, you know.
These guys kind of did.
If it's not the Aborigines, it's a scorpion. It's I'm just a jaguar or puma.
So that one line from Robert Pattinson when he says, "Mr. Costin," when he's saying, "I want to go on another expedition," and Robert Pattinson says, "The jungle is hell. Somehow you like it, or somehow you love it," or whatever that line was. That's not you, huh?
No, it's not me. In fact, for me, it's where is it?
Jeff would be more like Chunk in the Goonies. Like, I hate nature. I hate nature.
I hate nature. Where is it? It's something along. I can't find the quote. It's something along the lines of like, "We are too British for this jungle," and I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, we may be too English for this jungle."
Why you couldn't colonize it, you fuckers?
Bro, you were on the boat going across the Atlantic in a 3-piece fucking suit. Yeah, you're too English for the fucking Amazon. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to take a boat across the ocean to the jungle. Let me get my nicest 3-piece suit on for what the fuck? At least he looked normal when he was in the Amazon. We're already griping.
You got to dress up on the ship. You might get invited to the captain's table.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the captain's table is just a total luxury suite in this kind of ship in 1908 or whatever the first expedition was. Okay, we're getting ahead of our skis here. I read the IMDb description. No stuffy criticism. What did you think? What did you feel? Take it away. Who wants to go first?
Dave, I've seen this before, so I love that you loved it so much. So I kind of want you to kick us off.
Sure. I want to say, like, because obviously it's based on fact. It's like that sort of thing. But this is not a biographical sort of thing that the way it normally plays out. Like, the color is very unique. They've picked a particular palette and they stick with it. And some of it kind of plays like one of the old Alan Quatermain adventures, but with higher emotional stakes. And for some reason, it just grabbed me and pulled me in, and it was nonstop right through. And they kind of lost me a little bit during the war bits, but I let that go because that's just me. I vague out during the war sections, but like the exploration, the just the relationship between these characters, it really, really worked for me. And like the cinematography is beautiful. The pacing is phenomenal. Like, I can't fault almost anything in this movie. And then, you read all the stories behind how they did it, and it's like, so yeah.
How did they make this movie for $30 million? How did they do it? How is this only a $30 million movie in 2016?
But also, what an unexpectedly inspiring lead character. At the beginning, you hate that guy, and he has such a journey. Because at the beginning, he's trying to be part of the like British aristocracy. And I'll tell you, the first 20 minutes of this film made me want to go back in time and punch the British.
Oh yeah, you hated him.
I think this is the Australian in you coming out. But feel free to wax on it a little bit. Why did you hate him so much?
In the early 1900s, they really embodied like everything about humans as society that I dislike, and he was trying to be a part of that. So he didn't come across as the nicest person.
Yeah,
like,
that sounds so.
The hunting and all that sort of shit.
He was killing the stag. What's more British than that?
Well, at least they're not hunting foxes. But I didn't like him at the start, and he won me over big time, which made me enjoy the journey even more.
Hey.
You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and dive into a little bit of I love this movie so much, and I almost gave it the gold star. I loved it the first time I saw it. It's hypnotic. It's poetic. It does that thing like Master and Commander does, and some of the other, what I would call are not super plot heavy exploration movies that do a really good job of focusing on character and tone and mood and environment, and not so much the adventure aspects of it. So you don't feel, you never really feel like you're caught up in like a typical production set piece that it belongs in this part of the script. Like there are always interesting moments in all of his films, and I feel like James Gray is such a master of never being predictable while taking on certain genres that you might seem to have a little bit of predictability with. You might expect something, and then he always seems to ground it in such a way, and the characters come first. I love that you said that about this lead character, because I think the most simple way to view this story is that this is a man who had a false purpose for the first 20 or 30 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Right? And we all often, of course, almost always, we're going to meet a protagonist who has not encountered their inciting incident yet. And that, of course, that's the case. But there is something very, very specific about this exploratory epic over a lifespan of this man in adulthood. And for the first 20 minutes or so, he's desperately trying to achieve something, but you don't really care about it yet.
Yeah, he's trying to get a medal. Big deal.
But but he seems to care about it, which I feel like is the beautiful effect of it. Like, I believed that he wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
But something fucking happens to him in the jungle the first time he goes. And I want to back off first. I don't want to dive too deep right now, but Dave, I'm so glad you love this movie. I love this. I love the music. I love the way it looks. I love the story of the making of this film as much as I love the movie itself. I love the meta aspect of this, that even though 30 million, you're right, isn't an enormous amount of money, no major studio would have greenlit this film. This was Amazon's first year, I believe, in releasing some movies. So they were taking some chances, and I could not stop thinking about the fact that, like, this kind of movie, just like that kind of exploration, doesn't happen without big pockets of people just kind of taking a risk on something without expecting an enormous ROI. And I kind of couldn't stop thinking about this time. And this movie went to movie theaters.
Really?
Guys, I remember
I'd never heard of it.
Exactly. I remember exactly the theater it was in our Regal in Astoria. It was all the way down at the end of the hall to the right. I remember I remember the first night it was playing. I remember seeing the posters, and I remember seeing the cutouts and everything. And I remember thinking, why is nobody talking about this movie? And I'll blame myself a little bit. I didn't see it immediately. And I remember just being like, why is this movie going totally under the radar? And I think it was because
they put it in the handjob theater.
They put it in the handjob theater, sure.
Yeah.
But this is it really is it's hard to remember a time already where Apple and Amazon had not started making serious movies yet. This is even before Netflix had started making prestige. Wasn't it the next year that Roma came out, or was that 18? 17 or 18? I can't remember, but I think Manchester by the Sea was the first time that, and Jeff, I think you and I saw that in Lincoln Square together with Casey, and we were all like, weird, Amazon made this movie. I remember just thinking like, oh, strange. And then they released this giant fucking, okay, there you go. They released this giant fucking epic a little bit later in the year with fucking Robert Pattinson. And I don't know, I just remember being so boggled that nobody saw it.
I am really starting to enjoy Robert Pattinson as an actor.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this was the first movie, because I didn't see any of the Twilights, basically. I didn't follow him at all. I didn't give a shit about that guy. And I think he would understand why I was saying that. The first time I watched this, I didn't know that was him for like half the movie.
Right.
Wow.
I was like, who is that guy? I just remember being like, oh, and I was so blown away about the humility of taking a supporting role when he could have gotten his own movies financed at this point.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I love this movie so much. I probably should have hit gold star. The music is incredible. There is still time. Jeff,
you can still change your mind.
What'd you think?
This movie, okay, I think you nailed it on the head when you said hypnotic. I think the best thing that this movie is it's hypnotic. I think I think the reason that I'm not giving it the full gold star is some of the family things seemed a little movie like. Some of them, and it's just hard, and maybe I lost my hypnosis in those when it's like Dad never did anything for us, which is true, but just the way that it's done, it felt very movie like. And then the last time he goes back,
That's
and it makes
every
sense
British child ever.
Yeah, and once they go back to the jungle the third and final time, and I felt like we knew the ending before. I feel like the filmmakers were like, since you already know how this movie ends, and I didn't look it up, but I just assumed the ending, and I feel like they were. I feel like James Gray was saying, like, you already know how it ends, so now I'm going to switch to the demise and just get lost in the euphoria of it and find that final, like he's finding his like Valhalla, like Gladiator, right? I feel like he's like, we're just going to end the whole last 25 minutes is going to be in Valhalla because he's not coming back. And so I feel like for those reasons, I'm not going to give it a gold star. However, I think you're right about the beginning of the movie. It had so many elements, like even in The Queen, when they do the hunts and they do the things out, not The Queen, The Crown. And I'm like, oh, it had like those elements. It had like the Peaky Blinders kind of feel when it was in London, even though it was set before Peaky Blinders, and like all of these things that I love about London and this time period. I thought Charlie Hunnam was very understated, but in a great way, because we've had movies that are fantastic with leads that are somewhat forgettable that also try to underplay their roles. And for some reason he underplays, but it's like really enticing. I love Robert Pattinson's Dilemma, where he doesn't overplay anything he does. Sandra Miller, I think she does a great job. I wonder if there's more that they could have done for her. They tried with the whole like, I found this and I'm a woman and I gave childbirth, and I'm glad they did that. I wonder if there's more they could have done with her. But throwing all of that out of the way, the jungle is so euphoric in this. It reminded me of Embrace the Serpent. It reminded me of the movie Embrace the Serpent. Hey,
yeah,
I didn't even reach.
I thought that was really cool. I mean, the World War I stuff and the trying to get medals things, and then but I actually think one thing really helped, and it's a device that maybe is based in truth or not, but it worked really well in the film, which is this simple idea that he had to win back his family's name, and how important that is for a Londoner, because we always see that with big names, but we don't always see that with like working class / military names, like the difference between being like a respectable working class family and being like a military legacy family, and him riding that line so that because he seems kind of selfish for a lot of the movie, but then at the end when Sienna Miller says everything your father has done is for you, and you're like, that's bullshit. I've been watching this movie. Everything he's been doing is because he wants to fuck. He wants to fuck the jungle. He would fuck the jungle if he could. But at the same time, it is like, actually, that was kind of important to him at the beginning, if not very important. And I don't know where that got blurred, and maybe that could have been clear. Maybe I just need to see it again. But anyway, I think that actually worked really well, especially the multi-generational casting, so that by the time you get to Tom Holland as the kid, and he's great as the kid, but they definitely overplayed he's older than the younger kid, so they're not just like, Dad. He's like, fuck you, Dad. You weren't here for me. And then but to turn him into, I want to go exploring with you. I think that simple plot device actually really helped.
It upped the stakes
really
again.
Helped. Yeah, because again, there's a lot of things where if you lose your hypnosis, when he's trying to pitch to everybody that the lost Golden City exists and that they should go back and find it, and of course you have Dudley Dursley, Harry Melling, right? Did you recognize him, Harry Melling?
Yeah.
What's his name? Dudley Dursley from the Harry Potter movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, he's in the Queen's Gambit and stuff. When they're sitting there, and it's like, it kind of reminds me like the John Adams scenes with like, the Golden City. It's like, next thing you're gonna say, there's fire-breathing dragons and stuff. Again, those scenes could just seem like they're so obvious, but for some reason, he does a good job, James, of keeping you hooked, keeping you intoxicated, and fitting it into this story, so it doesn't just seem like any other movie that does the same. That was
one of the things that turned me around on the main character, because they're mocking him continuously. Like, because the City of Gold is like a legend, but they're mocking him.
There are like a million movies that have that exact same scene where they mock the lead who says that the Golden City exists.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect him. It doesn't affect him at all. He brushes it off like a duck with water.
Yeah,
and that made the character endearing.
Well, I hope he expected it, and I think he did. I think Charlie Hunnam was like, I know that I'm going to go in there. I'm going to hope for the best and plan for the worst. And he's going to assume people are going to say, you fucking kidding me? You found a golden city in South America? Get the fuck out of here. You just want to go back there and bang some Aborigines. Like, they're not going to believe him. And I feel like I got that from him. You're right. Long story short, Dave, you're right. He sold that scene. He sold that scene really well.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about
I did have to rewind.
Like the
I did have to rewind when Robert Pattinson, he responded like, I want to go back, or I forget what he said, but there were I had to like play it back like 7 times because I didn't understand what he said.
It's the line that I referenced where he said, the jungle
so
is hell,
British.
but for some reason you love it.
I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of, but there were a couple times where I had to play back like 6 times. And for some reason on Amazon, I think on like if you watch something on Apple TV, if you go back, it does closed captions for 10 seconds in case you miss a line. But I kept doing it on Amazon and it wasn't doing it. And I was like, I still don't understand what they just said because it's so British. Okay, sorry, Chad. What are we like? I love the ending. I love the ending. I'm just saying that. Was that what you're trying to ask? You're trying to ask me about the ending, or why you love what Dave loved? No, I love the ending. I think he overplayed that we knew he was going to die in the jungle. That's what I think. So I feel like from the second they were deciding to go back for the final time, I feel like the tone shifted in such a way that was like they started to play out the ending in Gladiator when he finally goes to Valhalla.
They never
at the 25-minute left mark. No,
in fact,
they didn't say he died.
Yeah, they insinuate that he doesn't, almost.
Well, of course. Yeah, again, it's a movie. None of this is surprising. Like, none of this is the first time that somebody does this where he's like, we've never heard from him again, but we don't know he died, so we're going to leave it open-ended. Like, none of that surprises me. I loved the scene where him and his son are like, we're not making it out of here. And you think for a second, like they spared their lives. Maybe it's going to be like Apocalypto where a miracle's going to save whatever. But it's like, no, they're going to fucking die. And it was before that. I just felt like they told us the ending too soon. That's all I'm saying.
But you're still saying you think they died. Do you think they died?
No. I'm saying the fact that we don't know that they disappeared. The fact that they disappeared and they vanished. So they started getting trippy and they started getting like a little like metaphoric and poetic and stuff at like the 25-30 minute left mark. So the whole last of this movie was just like hypnotic poetry, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was definitely a change of pace for me that just it made me confused because I feel like it was.
I think I might be.
Anyway, whatever.
I think I might be a sucker for that because
I did
honestly,
like the very last
ending
shot.
is the ending is the thing I remember.
The ending's great, of course.
That whole last sequence is what I remembered the most after seeing it the first time.
I should say
whenever I listen to the score,
not ending, final act, because the ending is amazing. From this, especially when he says, "We're gonna die here," right, or whatever, and then they go, and then who maybe they get absorbed into the community and the society. Maybe that's what you're suggesting, which is totally possible and totally fine. And I love that, and I love the final shot. I do, where you see the kind of like reflective gold, and I loved that. That was great.
Yeah, I guess I feel like it's inevitable that. I feel like a lot of really great like obsession movies, it's almost best when the ending is a vaguer expression of the obsession is going to eat you. It doesn't, we don't, and they chose to not tell you exactly whether or not they lived or died because we're not sure.
We don't know.
It is based on a true story. But yeah, I mean, because sometimes, this is just such an obvious, we tend to, in screenwriting, we discern tragedy from happy ending by if a character gets what they need versus what they want. So, sometimes it can be really clear with obsession stories. If they achieve what that thing they want, then they lose everything. I think this one is so beautiful because it lent itself to a definitive ending of a typical obsession movie. They do disappear. That is enough for the world to understand that his obsession ate him and consumed him and consumed his child. But I do love the spin on one. I love how he films them being absorbed into whatever happens to them. And I love the visual nods to maybe they are being taken to a city, or whether it's some Valhalla, or they're just tripping like crazy and who knows what happens. But I really love that it shows her disappear into the jungle, because I think that's the ultimate commentary on this movie.
Yeah.
The consequence of obsession.
Yeah, the obsession was passed on.
Was passed on, but not the way it was passed on to his son that it is on to her.
Yeah.
She has to deal with the consequence of not being able to understand it. You know, she's just dealing with this fear of it.
Yeah.
Because that's where her husband and now her child have been consumed by it, and she can't escape it even if she wanted to.
I like the dream stuff. I had a dream last night. I was visiting a dream. Like, I think that's really great. I love that.
All right. Well, I think
I'm happy. Let's talk about the good shit. Let's talk about the good shit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised you put great. It sounds like you thought it was okay.
Because I was hypnotized. You have asked me to talk about the few parts of the movie that I'm preventing it from a gold star, and we're spending the whole point of our podcast was to not do the thing where if somebody loves 90% of the movie, they spend 90% of their podcast talking about the 10% of the movie they don't like. We want to spend 90% of our podcast talking about the 90% we liked, and right now you made me talk for 90% about the 10% that I thought didn't catch me, and then you're blaming me for thinking I don't like it enough. Fuck you. That's it. You're getting your first buzz of the episode, John. That's your first buzz of the episode. Yeah, enjoy it.
I thought Dave, I know you said you kind of tuned out during the war stuff, but
only a little bit.
I thought that was some of the most realistic recreation of production design.
Definitely had the same thought.
And that tone.
It's just
because it's an excerpt.
Yeah.
Because it's an excerpt. And my whole approach that I'm coming to this whole conversation is how nothing in this movie feels plotty to me. Nothing. And I love that so much about it. The war part of it is also just that thing happened in his life and they have to show some of it.
Yeah.
The way that feels is incredible. What a wonderful story device. And I'm sure when he was writing it, he was just thinking like, God, this is going to be so exciting to show a war sequence. And that's not the point of the movie or the point of the character. It's like the middle of somewhere in the middle of the movie. And not the midpoints aren't important, but despite that, the effort they went to, the production value on that sequence for me is like jaw dropping. I can't believe how good that trench looks.
How did they do this for $30 million? How do they do it? Did he borrow a set from somebody else? Did he borrow a set from...
It's amazing.
I can't decide if it's art direction or shot composition or like a perfect symbiosis of both. Because a lot of this, they actually flew stuff into the jungle to film in.
How intense... Yeah. How intense was it right before he blew the whistle when they all marched out and then immediately everybody just got fucking fired right back into the trench and the guys had to keep pushing on?
I was scarred by Gallipoli long ago, the movie Gallipoli.
That was like hold my breath. We've seen that a lot.
We've seen that a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
Again, what I love more than that kind of moment is how pedestrian his speech was right before it.
Yep.
You know, how matter of fact and how calm and grounded everything about this fucking movie, but that war sequence is such an obvious example. Everything in the jungle also feels like it almost feels it. Dave, I'm not taking. Let me say this the right way. This is like a refined visual aesthetic, but it's almost tonally like documentary. Like there's almost like the way they make you feel, nothing feels that heightened. And there's something so accessible because of that. I think gives you
I disagree. I totally got heightened. In the war sequence, no. But in the jungle sequences, dude, they were playing with like a fucking sepia and gold palette that just gave it the whole thing a dreamlike quality.
I mean, the whole time, right?
Yeah.
I noticed really, really hard on my OLED television where, blacks are really intensely black.
Mm-hmm.
The opening, the poster that's behind me, it's not this exact poster, but the opening that shows the title, Lost City of Z, right beside the fires burning across the river and people dancing in front of it, which might be the ending, and you don't know that yet.
Right.
The blacks are not black. The blacks are green. Even the blacks are green.
Yeah.
So when they got into the rest of that movie, you're like, oh, this movie is green and gold.
Yep.
This entire fucking movie.
And gold. I mean, a lot of gold. That Lost City. Also, for most of this podcast episode, you are right in Charlie Hunnam's face, but his hat is around you. So you look like the lead of this movie with Robert Pattinson and Sienna Miller off to your side, and you're wearing his hat. Yeah, there it is. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right there.
The first thing I noticed when it started, I was like, that color is like unique. You don't see the sepia gold thing very often.
Really good, right?
And he
strong choice.
He insisted on shooting on 35mm film.
As he does, man.
As well.
He likes doing it.
Because he wanted the organic texture of old adventure films.
Meaning he didn't shoot it in digital, you mean? In 2016, like it's easy to go digital?
Other than the
it
color,
was
though,
Kodak Vision
Don't you-
50D and 200T. So they alternated between daylight and tungsten on this.
How is this only a
So
$30
other than
million
the color-
budget? What the fuck?
God damn it! Other
No
than
lighting.
the color, don't you feel tonally? Don't you feel tonally that like this? It's funny that you're saying he was using the word adventure a lot, and every time I've heard him talk about this, I've never heard him use that word, but I think it doesn't matter if he's saying it or not. To me, this doesn't feel like typical adventure films where the characters are kind of plugged into scenarios.
Yeah.
This feels right. This feels like a character drama. I mean, there's that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There's that great quote where Sidney Pollack was talking to Ed Zwick, and they were talking about something that Ed was trying to get made. And Sidney says, "Plot is the cheap piece of meat you throw over the gate to the dogs before you break in and steal everything." Character, character, character,
Wait,
character.
Who said that? Ed Zwick said that?
Sidney Pollack said
Sidney
that
Pollack
to
said
Ed
that. Oh,
Zwick.
of course.
And I think this movie is such a testament to that. Of course, they have real life events that are going to create plot. They're going to create timelines and structures. But I think what's so interesting about this is that Charlie Hunnam is excellent in this movie. He's in almost
great.
every frame.
Yeah.
And he's really, really believable and good. And
Yeah.
this is not like this giant, blowhard type of personality. He's definitely obsessed, but it's not Daniel Plainview. It's not this kind of eat up the scenery and everything around them. You have this character that just kind of very determinedly moves through his life because he has to get back to this jungle. But even when they're in this
Right.
jungle, I don't really sense this, I don't really sense some elation or euphoria when he's there. He's just
looking for
God
something.
damn it. He's just
He's
looking for
driven.
something. But sorry,
Again,
I wanted
by
to
the
get back and just
obsession.
ask you,
He
I know
was
you're
the
saying the
third
color.
person cast for that.
I guess
Who
I
were the
believe
first-
that.
who were the first
He's
two?
coming from television.
first two.
Brad Pitt was attached originally.
Yeah.
As
Still
Fawcett.
produced it.
He produced it, but if I'm him,
Yeah,
I'm like,
then he went to produce. They started working on this in 2008,
That makes
so
more
it took
sense.
almost a decade to get it made. And then later they were going to use Benedict Cumberbatch, and then he
Yeah,
dropped
sure, he
out,
would've been
and then Charlie Hunnam took the role.
I think he
Sure.
did a great job.
Yeah,
But I want to get
also
back
do.
to what I was saying earlier.
The color,
Dave. You
yeah.
Yeah, color. I agree with you. That is heightened. There are things that are visually very affected. Let's use that word.
Yeah.
But in terms of like tone and the way the camera moves and the way the staging takes place, it is not the way like Spielberg or somebody who's more traditionally adventuresome, if they're going to film like the jungle scene. I feel like this really did just feel like we were with them.
Well, see, Spielberg
what I
would
mean?
build a jungle, not fly into it.
Sure. All right, since you brought that up multiple times, I think it is worth mentioning because I've heard him say this multiple times in different interviews. One thing that's always cool about when filmmakers go to nature, it seems to be a pattern that seems to exist, and it's always fun listening to them talk about. They think they're going to go have this great symbiosis with nature
Yeah.
and like make this
Right.
natural.
I'm
No.
sure.
And every
Nature's-
single time,
Yeah, nature's going to kick your ass for 6 weeks. Is what's going to happen.
it's gonna kick your fucking ass. This one kicked his ass. Inarritu said the wilderness of Canada and all the other cold places they filmed kicked their asses. There are so many times when people just, and this is just no different.
But
And I
then,
guess
then they
that's
went
something
from
that-
Canada to Colombia
Mhm.
as well. So
You're
like,
talking about
and apparently,
Revenant.
Wait, they filmed
no,
this
no,
in
sorry,
Canada?
no. You were talking about Revenant filmed in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this one filmed in
Well,
Colombia.
they had to switch
a
to
lot.
Colombia because the
Yeah.
season they couldn't get snow, so they had to wait for the new season, and then they went to South America. Yes, that's right. That was the Revenant.
I don't know. I just feel like there's something very, very meta when you learn that, and it doesn't matter if it's after the fact, even if it's just upon reflection. Sometimes you think these movies are just they happen by magic. There's tons of people and tons of money, and things just happen, and it's not that hard. This was a very, very difficult film for them to make physically, and I think that's even more important for why I still am standing by my theory that tonally, I do feel like it almost has a documentary style, in terms of tone, but in terms of aesthetic, it is refined. Like
Yes.
it has, they shot everything in that jungle as though it were a fucking built set.
Well, the thing is,
there's
if
almost no handheld camera in this,
because they were
right? There's like none.
they were flying in by helicopter to remote sites, so they're not taking like Jenny's. They're not taking lighting. They're taking PAs with bloody reflectors, and that's all they got. So basically, you're using the natural light as much as you can. So that might be why it was made for 30 million.
This is okay. It's the first IMDb thing, but James Gray was talking about how he literally said it was an act of absolute hubris to shoot this picture on film. They had to have an elaborate routine where, first of all, they had to get somebody from Bogota, which is that's Colombia, right? No, that's
Yeah.
Is it Bogota, Colombia? They had to get some. Or is it Chile? They had to get somebody from Bogota. You guys have to look it up. So
Pretty much
like
only
assholes.
people outside America will know you got it wrong.
I thought it was Chile, Bogota, but maybe it's Colombia. Somebody from Bogota to load the film because no one knows how to do that anymore.
It's the capital of Colombia.
I fucking knew it. We all heard me say it. And then when they finished it, they had to put it in a torn up crappy cardboard box and load it into a single engine crop duster that would take off from this little runway 3 flights every day just to get your film processed. The next day you were just waiting. You had a sense of dread waiting for the satellite phone to ring, and you just say, I really hope that film arrived. What the fuck were they doing? Think about all the supplies they could have given to the people in like the middle of nowhere in South America in these communities, and instead they're just putting all their resources into flying.
It sounds like they didn't have that many supplies themselves because the whole bloody crew got sick from contaminated water at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I love Tom Holland. I got to the river one day and with the local kids, and it was the best day ever. I didn't realize the water was filled with black caimans, which are like giant alligators. The next day we were filming on the boat and I saw this big crocodile looking thing in the river. Apparently they're very docile and they don't attack people, but to me it looked as mean as it could be. I mean, they didn't know how does he go to set? How does a fucking child who is about to be fucking Spider-Man go and he's playing in the water with giant crocodiles and he doesn't know that? Like,
God, I hope there's an outtake somewhere. There's an outtake somewhere where he's on the boat, he looks over and sees it, he's like, fuck me.
Can you imagine like somebody from Marvel Studios just shows up to set and be like, you can't hurt this kid?
So we were talking about how affordable this was to make. I mean, I feel like the new Hollywood showed us that when you go out into the world and actually shoot things on location, you can do it cheaper. And there's a heightened sense of realism because of it, that there's a sense of production value that is delivered just inherently. It's baked in when you actually point a camera in a real location.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You have to embrace the certain. Go watch Embrace the Certain.
Sunlight in a camera will always be better.
This might be a good testament to that. I think if they had shot this more traditionally inside of countries that are more expensive, or of course, if they had built this somewhere on backlots, this would have been a 60, 70, $80 million feature.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that how fucking nuts is it, you guys, that like, I know this is how this industry works sometimes, but I want to be a filmmaker, right? I'm climbing the ladder right now and trying to get my stuff made. 20 years from now, I might go make a movie like this. And I'm going to be like telling you guys about like that crazy fucking 6 months of my life where we climbed into the jungle and we make this big movie. And you guys watch it and you're
John
like,
will call us and go, hey, you want to come to the jungle? And we're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you're not going to help me.
And I say, you bring the drugs and we'll meet you there. I'm kidding you.
Drugs are bad.
No, they're getting carried out. The scene where they're getting carried out and I just leave it in and Jeff moves for the he's being carried out too.
He's floating down the river.
You're like, Jeff's onto something. Let's get the camera.
There's just this one guy. Okay. The point I'm making is that can you imagine going through that kind of hell and nobody watching the movie? It's good. It's objectively good. This movie is good.
Yeah,
it probably should have been nominated for more awards and stuff. And they went into the fucking jungle and made this thing. It's just, it's
you just
crazy
like
to me.
Brooks.
Things like this.
I think that the truth is that people who know movies saw the movie and then regular people didn't. Because I bet you.
I don't even know.
Robert Pattinson saw the after seeing Two Lovers. Yeah, but I don't know movies the way that like somebody that actually works in Hollywood does.
Even little location shoots. Yeah, even little location shoots can be hell. Like the film we made in North Carolina, I threw my back out on the first night when I almost fell down the mountain.
one good thing about what Amazon, Netflix, and even Apple to some extent did, not to say we should all like bow to them. They have plenty of money and they're good. Is they really did start with quality. They didn't start with quantity. And so if this was Amazon's first movie, and I'm not sure it probably wasn't, but let's say that it was, the first time they saw this movie was in the theater, the Amazon executives. And I bet you they saw this and said, this is a good movie. We make good movies. And then they have to try to figure out how to sell it. And then they say, okay, we didn't sell it. So what do we do about that? But I bet you they weren't just numbers oriented first. I bet you they were proud that the first movie they made was a good movie. And then they can figure out how to scale and all that other stuff second. So I bet you they were proud of this movie, and I bet you they got a lot of people to come and see it. I bet you there was an Oscar campaign. I bet you there, I bet you they got people to show up to their parties, and the people in the industry saw it and liked it. And even though it didn't get the appeal that it needed to, James Gray certainly endured. He did okay, and he also had to fucking cook pasta for his crew because he felt like an asshole, and so every single night he cooked for his crew and his cast to get the best performance out of them because he said, "I'm so sorry for making you film in the fucking jungle of Belize."
They all got an Amazon goodie bag with a free Fire Stick in it or something.
He actually said he asked Francis Ford Coppola for advice, and Francis Ford Coppola said, "Don't go." Yeah. But in truth, it was because Robert Corman told Francis Ford Coppola about Apocalypse Now, "Don't go." And he said he thought it would be good to say that to James Gray to pass it along, I suppose. And then James Gray said he was really hoping he would just stay at Francis Ford Coppola's resort in Belize, and that's not the case. How good is that? Did
you see
how we not talked about the fact that the fucking Supreme Chancellor from Star Wars, aka Darth Sidious, aka the Emperor, is in this fucking movie, and he doesn't even pretend to use a different voice. I would go to a voice coach immediately and be like, "Okay, I understand that people are going to sound like me, but can I please not sound like this when I speak? Can I?" It's like he sounds.
I want you to go and draw this map. It'll give you unlimited power.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I can hear the lasers out of his voice in this movie.
Did you see the Chinese version of this was 40 minutes shorter?
Shocking.
Yeah. They took out a lot of the ending. Chinese has regulations about it.
John, you want to come at me, motherfucker?
They have a lot of.
I love the ending.
Laws about mysticism and stuff. When them taking potions and stuff and going off on a little trip into the jungle was a little too much mysticism for the Chinese to handle. So the government removed it.
5,000 years old, and they started the opium trade. And you're telling me that they're opposed to mysticism?
They don't want them discovering anything else.
Anyway,
it's a form of religion, I guess.
Okay, John, are there any other parts of this movie that you love that we haven't gotten to, and now we're just having fun shooting the shit over it?
I mean, Jeff, what'd you think of the music? Did you like the music? I love this score.
I think it only enhanced the movie because I can't name you a single melody or theme of it, but it included the hypnotic elements that helped me dive in. I was really hypnotized. I feel like hypnosis is the key word for this. I feel like they didn't do it too soon or too early. It was like a trip. You take the pill at the beginning, but it's not going to hit you in the first 20 minutes. In the first 20 minutes, you got to make sense of the fact that you're about to have a trip. And then I feel like they really lulled me in. So yes, it did a good job, but it's not like I can say like, what a score. I think it was very.
All right, I guess I want to ask you guys. I guess I want to ask you about then. It wasn't too long ago that we did Ad Astra, his film after this.
With Mark. Mark came on the show.
Big fan of his. Mark did come on the show. And I was just curious in terms of the work within his canon of movies you have seen. Like, are you noticing anything about his work? Are you noticing anything that's consistent about his storytelling? He is a writer director, so his hands are all over all of his films.
He's very character driven. I've noticed. Like,
yeah.
Well, I'll add that. He's character driven, but also makes me hypnotized without making me think this filmmaker did drugs, which some other filmmakers, I go, this filmmaker has eaten mushrooms. I don't know. I can watch all these movies and say, I am hypnotized because Ad Astra is very trippy. It is very trippy when he goes all the way out fucking there and Brad Pitt goes all the way the fuck out there. And then Tommy Lee Jones has a 10-minute scene as his father after he's been trying to find his fucking father. I am hypnotized out of my mind, and at the same time I'm like, this director may have never eaten mushrooms. I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys have any strong emotional responses at any part in the movie? Because again, I feel like, I guess let me put that in context.
I feel like
that hypnotic thing, that grounded exploratory thing, but the structure doesn't feel too plotty. It just kind of feels like you're following this person. The highs and lows aren't extremely high and low for me, and I think that's one reason why it's so interesting.
Okay,
so but I am curious if you had emotional responses at any part, and if so, why?
When they're on their knees and Tom Holland is like, "We're gonna die here. I don't really want to die here," and he explains to him that life unfolds in a way we don't expect. We're discovering things, etc. That was a really big moment for me. It was good.
For sure.
I wish the turn started there and not 10 minutes before, when I knew that scene was about to come for 10 minutes and I was waiting for it. I love that the opera scene in this movie, where they're in the middle of the jungle and out of nowhere there's an opera, like literally in the middle of the woods. I feel like that was exactly
crazy,
like
right?
Apocalypse Now, where they're riding up the river and there's the fireworks show and there's that whole show. So it was very Apocalypse Now.
And
then they
Beau was
basically
afraid.
And then they were like gunshots and stuff, and they're like, great. And they're like, we're going to go north. And they were like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, in fact,
So I
we
felt
told
like that
you
was
not
a very good Apocalypse Now scene.
Now, the first thing I thought of when they did the opera in the jungle was Beau was afraid.
Well, of course. I mean, that's the best part of Beau is afraid, is that fucking theater piece. And I like that movie, but still. I think one thing that was, I don't know if it was a high or a low, but it certainly made me feel, I have added something to my list of worst ways to die. And I think being caught in a fishing net in a river in the Amazon, underwater, of course, while Aborigines, sorry if that's a derogatory term, I don't know, but I'm thinking of Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. When Aborigines are throwing spears at me, I think that is up there in the worst ways to die for me. Again, reminder, being caught in a fishing net.
With piranhas.
With piranhas, yes. I think that
was just
a
about
very
to say,
emotional
That was
scene.
the most
I'm really
realistic
glad-
piranha attack I've ever seen put on film.
Yes.
And okay, so I'm so glad you mentioned that. You said something earlier, and I wanted to talk about that. That is like bullseye James Gray storytelling for me. Nobody said the word piranha.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Nobody even talked about what happened. Like, I love that. It was so, Dave, the way they captured it was super realistic.
Yeah.
But also just the other filmmaking things around it, the lack of dialogue around it, the lack of anybody saying, be careful of the water. There are snakes and piranha fish that eat you. Like, I love that they just showed it
Shit
and then
just
nobody
happened.
said anything.
Yeah.
That was so, and when they were getting sick,
Yep.
and that guy's throwing up, old blood, and it's black and it's coming out of him. The scarring, the face, the open wounds, the staph infections. My God, I love that he just said, whenever I can, I'm going to cut every single fucking line possible in this movie. None of it is necessary.
Like
the whole point is to just
you
be
get
there.
how fucked they are. Like,
You do, but you also want to assume that they are talking about those things when we're not looking at them.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's a very important sense for me.
Yeah.
With this movie, with Ad Astra, with a few of his other ones, I get the sense that the characters understand they either have already or need to talk about something, but we don't need to see it. We already got it. We're
great.
smart. He trusts
That's
his
some
audiences.
economic
He
filmmaking
trusts
there.
us.
I feel like we've been talking for years about A24 and how if you're a filmmaker, it's like, especially like an independent filmmaker, whether you're at the level of James Gray or an up and comer, they want to work with A24 because their movies are successful. They seem to be very filmmaker forward. How do you not want to work with Brad Pitt in Plan B as a filmmaker? How do you not want to choose him? He'd already done 12 Years a Slave. And at this point, it's like, Brad, you got me, right? Yes. Good. Like, I'm sure he didn't have to James Gray didn't have to explain himself to very many people. All he had to do was tell Brad Pitt, one of the greatest movie stars of all time, who now is producing but is a very director first actor. I want to cut the dialogue. I want to just show it visually. I want to do this and I want to sell it and stuff. And I'm worried that they're going to try to, for commercial reasons, try to tell me that I need to put snakes and piranhas and I need to say it. And can you get my back? And Brad's going to say, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
How do you not, like, I'm sure that just having Brad on your shoulder is fucking awesome.
Well, let's be specific. Because to heighten your point, I don't think he's turned in a script that had all this stuff and he said after the fact, can we cut it? I think he turned in a script and showed them what he was developing and they were already like, yes,
well,
that's the kind of movie we want to make.
He's your fellow alumni, so you would know. Alumnus.
Sure. I would know. I have been actively trying to get him to mentor me. I've been sending him emails for months since graduating, trying to get him to
send him a link to this show.
Yeah.
It'll work.
I shook his hand.
It'll be the reason you get a gig with him and Mark can't work with Disney.
Actually, send him you
Yeah.
coming at me for even trying to say that I didn't give it a gold star. Like, just come. Yeah, that'll help.
I can't believe you did. I literally, when I shook his hand when I was after I got my diploma, I said, the chase scene in We Own the Night. And he looked at me and he was kind of like, oh yeah. And I went, fuck yeah. And he was like, oh, fuck yeah. Thanks, dude.
As you're getting your diploma.
Yeah. You know, nobody can hear you. It was just between me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Still.
let's be clear. I do want to point this out just because I want to give credit where credit's due. And I've been re-listening to a lot of the Deacons podcast. And one of the really great listens that I recommend is Dee Dee Gardner. Her and Jeremy Kleiner together are the producers for Plan B. So Brad is the money behind the company.
Mhm.
And it's not that he doesn't help make decisions. And sometimes he does help produce. But generally speaking, Dee Dee Gardner has been the producer and his partner since the beginning. And Jeremy Kleiner came in very quickly, I think, after they had started working together for a few years. So those two together are credited as the producers for this movie. In the end credits, there's a shit ton of producers credited on IMDb, but they are considered like produced by. It's them and like one or two other people who I'm sure came in on the production after Plan B got involved. But you're right, man. I feel like whenever you have somebody who makes movies involved, Brad Pitt said yes. And then his version of yes is, as long as you don't go over this budget, tell us what you need. Like
Right.
the whole point of this is that we believe in your vision, and we're not going to be the people who say no. We want to be the people who try to make movies for grown-ups, right? They made this in Moonlight in the same fucking year. I mean, come on. Right? It's fucking get out of the way.
The
Wait,
thing
Plan B did
that gets me.
Sorry?
Plan B did Moonlight? No, you're not.
The thing that gets me, and this was the perfect time for me to watch this, I think, because modern archaeology using satellites and stuff have actually proven some of the theories he had. Like they found,
Isn't that awesome?
yeah, they found the areas he was looking for. Like in the area he said it was.
In the second expedition, not Robert Pattinson, but the other gentleman that's with them, the other Brit.
Yeah,
When
that
he
fuckhead.
says, look, we're competing against the Americans. Somebody just discovered Machu Picchu.
Yeah, that was great. Was that
Like,
true? Is that based
these
on that?
cities-
Is that timeline accurate?
Yes. Yeah. These cities do exist. There were civilizations built around, we learned about them in social studies. We're taking all this shit for granted. But I think that's fucking awesome.
I think to wrap this up a little bit, I think the best takeaway, and I think he did this well and not like somebody in the future that has all the information looking back. And I agree with somebody like Bill Maher, for instance, that says this a lot. You can't judge everybody by modern contexts. There are certain situations, I'm not going to go into any details, but just in the grand broad stroke, we know more things now than they did back then. Fucking dinosaurs were discovered when the forefathers were alive, right? So they were ultra religious, etc. But they didn't even know dinosaurs were alive. They had no idea dinosaurs were discovered. So you can't blame
George Washington did not know dinosaurs existed.
So anyway, but it's like, but they just didn't know these things. Anyway,
For Jesus.
I think the way he wrote the characters to respect, if not, I don't want to say worship, to respect, if not admire and look up to. They called them savages in the movies because that's what you did to people that were supposedly uncivilized. But the fact that people who didn't do tea time during the day and people who didn't know how to run a steel mill could build a city that would endure for 1,000 years, for instance. The fact that, and it shows Charlie Hunnam would stand up, he'd be like, of course, people were capable of doing that. These people were totally capable of doing that. I love the way they communicated with each other in these situations, even though it was a lot of noise, a lot of bird-like animalistic noises. You could tell that there was good communication that was corroborated. I loved the way that they incorporated that, and they didn't do it in such a way that was in a musical, and I'm saying this disgracefully because we've all worked in musicals, they would say, these people know these kinds of things. You need to listen to them. No, we didn't need any of that. We just said, like, I love that you trusted that people that have lived on land for thousands of years and haven't died off actually might have discovered something interesting that we've overlooked by taking ourselves away from nature. And I feel like he wrote that really well into this movie. Am I making sense with that?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, there's their great rebuttal to that in your scene where all the crowd of aristocrats and congressmen or whatever the representatives, whoever the fuck that was in that group that he was speaking to, was just screaming at him all the time. He says, we're going to have to deal with the fact that there may have been what we consider archaeologically an advanced civilization in other parts of the world that may precede our own. And they scream, pots and pans, pots and pans.
Wait, like,
that's your only fucking proof.
The religious element of this. Okay, I bet John liked the speech about being blinded by Christianity timelines and overlooking civilizations long considered fodder for indentured servitude more than constructing timeline self-sustaining civilizations. So literally he was like, basically since before Jesus was alive, these people had civilizations and they were like, ah! Everybody got
He
nuts.
literally said that is a shocking line. He said the bigotry of our religion.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
The bigotry of our religion.
God damn, dude, that is fucking God, it's just, man, guys, I'm so glad we talk about his movies so much. I feel like this movie should be talked about with the other great, not adventure, but exploratory movies. Like, this is a giant, serious movie that should be taken seriously and should be watched by tons of people.
But it's also totally compelling to watch.
Why do you give it
Guys,
a
I'm going to
star?
ask you a question. I have an assignment for you. You know what? All right, boom. Gold star. Let's switch. Do you see it?
I just sneezed so hard. I just sneezed so hard when you did that.
Jeff's apparently allergic to fucking gold stars.
Did I switch it? Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Oh my God,
right,
John
baby.
switched his
I have an
answer.
assignment for you too.
Okay.
I have an assignment for you too, just because I'm just fucking curious. And I really am going to check in with you next week.
Thrilled.
Ask people that you know in your life who watch movies, ask them if they've seen this movie. And let's just see how many people have seen it. Because I've brought this up over the years, and most people have said no, but I'm going to ask around too and just like mention it to people.
Oh, I'm going to be talking about this all week.
Dave, I'm so glad you liked it, dude. I'm so fucking glad you liked it. You loved it. Sounds like.
Yeah. To wrap up, anything else? Because I shouldn't have had as much time as I did. Anything else you want to say about this movie in adoration of it?
No, I mean, I'm
going to buzz that pause.
Really? Really?
Sorry.
I feel like this one left me pondering the question, does lack of conclusive evidence breed obsession? Because he had lack of evidence the city existed, so he became obsessed with finding it. She had no evidence that they were alive, pretty much, for such, like, either way. So she had to take it on faith, but she became obsessed with getting them found. Like, that was the final message I took from this.
I mean, wouldn't you feel like historically every single artist and scientist would agree with that? It is the search of the unknown that drives us to go and do these ridiculously selfish things. It is in the name of hopefully you're either going to achieve that or something in the runoff of that will actually end up being worthwhile.
You know what else I love? To that point, exactly, because that comes in the timeline. The Royal Geographic Society was asked to help administer a border of countries because they couldn't decide on their own. And then you get there and you're like, is this valid or not? Is this true or not? But how do you not have ego? And then you have to go with your ego to do something that was asked of because of your prowess as a society. And then you have to leave your ego as soon as you get there. I feel like the web that was spun, the morality web was spun so quickly. You know, the spinning that he must have been going through his head of being like, I'm here with he goes, I'm with the British military. Can you imagine going into the fucking South American jungle right now and being like, I'm with the Western Society military right now. And he just did it. And then immediately they were like, fuck you.
Shot in the head.
We don't need you. Yeah, exactly. It's like, anyway, I just thought, I can't wait to rewatch this again. Well, you know what my biggest takeaway from this movie was? And I swear this is the last thing I want to say about this. I really, really, really wish I got to see this in a movie theater.
Me too. Me too, dude.
I love seeing movies at home.
Badly.
I have a 65-inch high-definition TV.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a 4K. I didn't see this in 4K. I saw it in HD, but I saw it in 4K. I have a great sound bar with a subwoofer. My subwoofer was fucking shaking my house. It was great. I wish I saw this on a big screen.
I wish I saw it without ads, but I'm not fucking paying for it. Amazon has it.
Yeah, Dave, I think you really love this movie because it had ads too. All right, my final comment is a spinoff of yours, Jeff, and I think it's so true. And this is very Sondheim, but I think there is some truth here. And it's if it is symbolism, it's never on the nose. of course, ethics and morality of the politics of these English people and Americans eventually, even though you don't follow them, going into these lands and trying to dissect some kind of truth that may exist in this savage land that is inhabited by these people. I think without a doubt, there is something that plays on the audience member about the morality of the jungle. It's the woods. It's the place where you go to rediscover yourself. It's the place where the unknowns are. It's the place where there's a murkiness around the way life is normally lived. One of those last lines he says to his son is something about like, there's so much of the world that we don't understand.
No.
And to think that we would have any understanding of death, is even more hubris, right?
It's
So
beyond
I feel like
curiosity.
the
He
way
needs to go to the jungle to understand something. He doesn't even know what he needs to understand.
And so because that's true, and that's a storytelling device that has been used for so many exploring and adventure films, I just can't give him enough of a pat on the back for not leaning into that too much and not making us feel like this was this super heightened with enormous plot turns and stuff. I feel like just easing up and just allowing you to go with them. You experience that without him ever having to say it.
Yep.
No character says it. The camera doesn't say it. It just is. Oh, man, beautiful. All right, I'm done.
Dave?
No, I'm done. Nope, that was it.
All right, friends. Thanks for tuning in for our Lost City of ZZ conversation. We got to wrap up the episode we always do with what you've been watching. But first, we got to spin the wheel so we know what year we're going to be talking about next week. But we're not going to pick the movie until the very end of this episode. So if you're listening in real time, you can watch along with us. So let's spin the wheel. What year do we think we are going to be doing? John, you and I get to guess. Dave already knows. What year do you think we're going to
85.
By the way, I have to shout out my friend Anthony loves Ken Russell films. He asked me if I knew Altered States, and I went, do I know Altered States?
Yeah. We've been fucked up by that little tidbit.
And then he named me like 4 Ken Russell movies in a row, and I was like, I got some work to do.
Women in Love.
He mentioned Women in Love. He loved Women in Love. He loves Women in Love. Okay.
Yeah.
What year?
I'm saying 1985 because 2 weeks from now, on November 1st, I am seeing the anniversary release of Back to the Future in IMAX. You guys should totally get tickets. It's at AMC.
No. But I have a lot of new movies to see, and I bet you'd rather me see them. I'm going to say 68. 68.
Okay, here we go.
19. Is that a 6 or a 9? 60? Did I nail it? 65.
Oh.
1965.
We had combined our last.
So close.
Yeah.
We're not going to Google movies, friends. We're going to do that at the end of the episode. We're going to do what you've been watching. You're going to get your movie of next week in like 4 minutes. Dave, we'd like to start with you. What you've been watching?
Well, I've been in Tech Week, so I haven't watched much because we put a musical on this week. But I did start watching. I kept watching Invasion on Apple TV. And it's very interesting because it's obviously an alien invasion is happening, but it's told from the perspective of 4 groups of people, and you barely see an alien in the first 4 episodes.
Wow.
Cool.
It's just how they're dealing with what they don't know what's going on. The news is misreporting it. Everyone thinks it's a big terrorist attack. It's just 4 episodes of them trying to get to safety and figure out what the hell's going on in their world.
So this is
and
season
plus
3?
This is no, I'm watching season 1 at the moment.
Okay.
But it's obviously good because it keeps going for 3 seasons. So.
Right.
Yeah.
John?
Excellent.
John?
So we've took 2 weeks off, listeners. So last week, Elizabeth and I took advantage of the Criterion for October. Has a little group of films that they're titling 2000s horror.
Right.
So we watched What Lies Beneath, which was awesome.
That's
It was a great rewatch. Really fun. She had never seen it before, and it worked. It got her. And then we also watched The Others, which, dude, I haven't seen that movie since it came out in
so
theaters.
Fun? Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That director, I feel like an asshole. I can't remember his name.
Wait, is that Nicole Kidman once again trapped inside a building?
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, it is.
We come here to haunt people.
And Christopher,
basically,
oh my God, Christopher the guy who was the doctor for a year. Christopher, he was the husband who comes back. Yeah, he's amazing.
Doctor Who. Yeah. The director of that film basically just chose not to make more Hollywood films after that. He just didn't want to. So he's continued working in Spain.
Not needing money?
How much money? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of know what, like, if he was able to make a living that was probably very comfortable in Spain, like, I believe it, dude. Fuck that shit if you don't need it. So we also watched, it's on Apple TV right now, no longer Apple TV Plus. Apparently it's just Apple TV.
Yeah, that's right.
Rebecca Miller.
Oh, does that mean it's free now?
Arthur Miller's daughter.
I was so close to watching it last night. I was so
What'd you
close.
Watch? What was that?
Mr. Scorsese.
It is a 4-part docuseries called Mr. Scorsese.
I was so close.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that.
Lovely,
It's
definitive
right
kind of. Yeah. So it kind of goes film by film. You know, it kind of goes life by life, film by film. It's really inspirational. I also just read a really dense biography on him. So I was like right in the pocket. Man, he's an inspiration. I cannot believe it gave me that feeling very specifically that I know I've mentioned to both of you guys before. Sometimes like you just take for granted certain things about like pop culture or movies or whatever. And we were growing up and we just thought that there were movies made for adults that had a lot of really intense, truthful underbelly of society kind of arches to them with a lot of cursing and violence. No. It's because of him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like people like him created that, dictated that, and then people like Quentin Tarantino have followed in his footsteps. And it just, you know, what are we going to do when he's not with? I mean, it's unbelievable. So then after that, because Elizabeth had never seen it, we watched Gangs of New York. I had not seen that in probably a decade, and that was a really awesome rewatch.
Yeah,
really,
I've
really
not
good.
seen that ever.
What prevents it from
man.
being a 10-star movie, or like a 10 out of 10? What is it that keeps it at a 9? Is it Cameron Diaz, or is there anything else? Is it the way she says San Francisco?
I'm not going to speak to that. I feel like it's the he will admit to this too. He kept changing the script, especially the ending. And I do feel like I just don't know, even though there's some really interesting aspects to the ending in terms of the structure and dramaturgy of how they get there and the way it plays out, I feel like it really builds. And then something just feels different. It's not even bad. Something just feels different about the last like 15, 20 minutes.
Besides the America speech with him and the flag, Danny Day-Lewis and the flag when he taps the eye and stuff, it's one of the best speeches ever. What's the best line in the movie, and why is it, "That's a wound"? What's the best line in the movie?
That's a...
When he throws the fucking thing at Leo
right,
and he goes, "That's a wound." That's top notch, right? What is it for you?
The one that I hear in my head all the times is, "Whoopsie daisy."
Whoopsie daisy. Yes, it's so good. It's just the
and
Cameron
living
Diaz
in fucking and living in that movie. I recommend everybody watching that movie immediately, actually, because of how unsettling our fight about nativism and immigration is right now.
Yeah.
That movie hit really hard right now.
Yeah.
And another line that I hear Bill the Butcher say all the time in my head is when he says,
"Good at all.
This is a night for Americans." You know. So yeah, that's actually my assignment for listeners. That movie was not fun. It was unsettling to watch this time. It really hit hard this time.
Okay, so the 3 people still listening, you have your assignment.
That's right. Okay. I always do this and I feel like I forget. We had 2 weeks and now I just forget. I feel like I'm so close to Peacemaker, but I still have another episode, so I'll talk more about it next week. I found out a friend of mine sat on the porch and drank tea with this family that was involved with a very big murder mystery. And so I was like, I had to watch that murder documentary. And if you know the household that I live in, we got to watch our murder documentary. So this was about the Alex Murdaugh family. So there's one on HBO and there's one on Netflix about the Murdaugh family murders. One goes
and you watched them both.
We had already seen the HBO one, so we watched the Netflix one this time, which is 2 seasons.
It's research into Jeff's future.
Yeah. That's right. I know. And then I watched. So my fiance is going to be a principal stand-in on the new Peter Farrelly Oscar winner movie called I Play Rocky, which is based on Sylvester Stallone selling the script for Rocky on the contingency that he actually stars in it himself. So there's a lot of like him as a down and out actor, and then him writing the script and him selling it, and then everybody in the world trying to give him as much money as he'll ever need to not be in the movie, to just buy the script from him, and him insisting on being in it. And so she's going to be in a principal stand-in. It's filming. She's already been on set, and she's going to be filming a lot in the next couple of weeks. So we rewatched Rocky 1. And back to your point about plot, John, if you say, what is Rocky about? It's like, oh, a guy who was a boxer in Philadelphia who got a shot at the title or whatever. That offer comes like 55 minutes into the movie. The first 50.
It's a slow movie.
That is a
just like the
slow fucking movie. This movie is a turtle. It is about a turtle enthusiast who should be homeless, lives in an unsuitable situation for a woman. The only woman who can talk to him can't speak to anybody. And he tells a girl who hangs out at the local like convenience store that shouldn't be considered a whore. And then all of a sudden he gets a title fight. Like it's like it is so
until that training sequence, until the training montage,
which comes an hour and 25 minutes into the movie.
I know.
Like they still use that in script writing like classes because the inside existence is halfway through the movie.
It's crazy, and it won
Best Picture, Best Director, Best Director for Avildsen.
No, not Best Director.
It did. Yes, it did. It won Avildsen for Best Director.
I care about none of this.
Network, Sidney Met. He beat fucking Taxi Driver because Scorsese wasn't nominated. It beat All the President's Men. Fucking John G. Avildsen won Best Director.
I care about none of this. Can you send me the map to where Crafty is for this film? Awesome, free breakfast.
No, I want the fucking I want the Crafty so bad. Fuck you. I can't wait. I hope I get some Crafty. No, I can't tell you where it's filming. I can only say it's in the state of New Jersey because NewJersey.com, NJ.com put an article out about it. I feel like I watched other shit and I can't remember what any of it is right now because I've been drinking and Rocky is taking over my life because I'm so fucking into it. But that movie is slow. If that came to an editor's table right now, they would cut 20 minutes out of that movie so fucking fast. They would say, nobody cares about your turtles. We're cutting the fucking turtles out of the movie. Done. I don't care. Turtles are out.
How about that real cringy scene when he won't let her leave?
And then they kiss. She kisses him. He literally will. He basically makes her come inside. He makes her come inside, and then she's trying to leave, and in a wife beater, in a guinea tea, he slams the door shut so she can't leave, and then they start making out.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, there are some.
Those of you for saying that.
What? You were the one who brought that scene up. Fuck you. I have a buzzer too.
You're calling it a guinea tea. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone knows what it's called.
It had a hole in it, and it was sweaty. All right.
Okay.
Everybody, go pet your turtles for 10 seconds. We're going to pick a movie, and then we're going to come back to you.
That is not a euphemism. You won't have time for a wank.
Great, let's do it. And we're back.
What they said.
All right, friends. I hope you enjoyed your Dasein. We're so excited to... we've done a lot of Roman Polanski films, but you know what? We've enjoyed all of them. They're all interesting. They're all subversive in some way, shape, or form. And this one, we can watch with ads or you can rent, but it is available to stream. And it's his first English language film, which came out in 1965, ahead of Rosemary's Baby, ahead of... Chinatown, etc. Repulsion! Fucking stoked. Can't wait. Repulsion, Roman Polanski's Repulsion. Go watch it before our next episode. Anything you two knuckleheads want to say before we go?
Nope.
Tell your friends to watch The Lost City of Z.
Absolutely.
Zed.
See you next time. I think of
Peace.
Why Don't You Just Meet Me in the Middle? I think that's by the artist Zed with 2 D's. Bye!